What if I told you that antidepressants could actually be making things worse? Here are 5 hidden side effects of antidepressants almost no one tells you about. Side effect number 1. Many years ago, I got prescribed an antidepressant called duloxetine, as I had severe anxiety and some depression. Now, on one hand, I do think it may have helped with getting me back to full recovery, along with regular psychotherapy. However, I remember once I started taking it, I had the most horrendous insomnia. I could literally only sleep for an hour or 2 at a time. So the first side effect is insomnia, and this could be really problematic for depression because a lack of sleep means your nervous system doesn't get a reset from dream sleep. So you're probably going to be waking up feeling more anxious. It also means you're not going to be getting enough deep sleep either, which helps with restoring your energy levels. And that's not good because depressed people are normally anxious and low energy as it is. Now, this next symptom is even weirder. Side effect number 2. So I was having such bad insomnia that my psychiatrist then prescribed me another antidepressant called mirtazapine. And sure, it did help me to sleep because mirtazapine can make you pretty drowsy. But what started happening was when I was waking up, weirdly, I was actually feeling really depressed. So yes, believe it or not, the side effects of some antidepressants is they can actually make you feel even more depressed and have been known to give you the feeling of, let's say, wanting to pull the plug on yourself. Crazy, right? However, this next side effect might be even more alarming. Side effect number 3. Believe it or not, problems in the bedroom can be a common side effect of antidepressants. And it's really strange, but we're talking about erectile dysfunction and decreased libido. And what's alarming is that these side effects have a prevalence rate of around 25% to 93%, depending on the type of antidepressant used. So it's a really common problem. And the problem is that these side effects, especially for men, can contribute to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and more depression. So antidepressants could indirectly be making things worse, especially if the depression is related to challenges with trying to conceive or erectile issues. But there is one side effect, which is even stranger and more shocking. Side effect number 4. What if I told you that long-term use of some antidepressants could actually increase your risk of type 2 diabetes? Some studies have found that there may be a higher risk of diabetes type 2 in long-term use of some antidepressants. Keep in mind that some people with depression can have other issues too, like eating disorders. And they might think, well, screw it, life sucks, so I might as well just eat what I want. And you know what? That's been my own lived experience with this. And that can definitely lead to a very unhealthy diet. But there is evidence to suggest that some antidepressants can directly interfere with blood glucose levels, which, long story short, could lead to insulin resistance, also known as diabetes. But this last side effect is perhaps the most disturbing of them all. Side effect number 5. Now, this side effect is allegedly rare, but it is a known one, and it's known as gastrointestinal bleeding. Yeah, it doesn't sound too good, does it? But some studies have found that some antidepressants can significantly increase the risk of internal bleeding in the upper gastrointestinal tract. A bit scary for sure, but it is rare. Still, it's something to keep in mind, and this risk of internal bleeding can become even higher if you mix some antidepressants with certain painkillers like ibuprofen and aspirin. So, after watching this video, you might be thinking, well, Nick, should I take antidepressants at all? And here's my answer. If you've been prescribed them by a licensed doctor or psychiatrist, then yes, definitely continue taking them as directed by your doctor. You should never stop taking antidepressants cold turkey, because that can trigger all kinds of nasty withdrawal effects. Now, I'm not anti-medication or anti-psychiatry per se. In fact, I do believe that the right medication for the right patient, especially in more severe cases, might actually help. However, I do think antidepressants could be overprescribed a bit. At the end of the day, I think the decision to take medication is a personal choice. Personally, when I was having a mental health crisis of my own many years ago, I was in such an anxious state that I very much welcomed being put on medication And I think this, along with regular psychotherapy, massage, 12-step recovery meetings, all of it helped to restore me back to functioning again. There is, however, a part of me that wishes I didn't go on medication, because over time it started to cause me things like nausea and a bit of IBS. I do think, though, people should be aware of the side effects of antidepressants as well as withdrawal effects, so that they can make an informed decision where possible, and it should not be taken lightly when starting antidepressants. Now, we've talked about medication side effects, but what about the hidden symptoms of depression itself that no one warns you about? Click this video here to learn what they are. And remember, do not stop or make any changes to your medication without consulting a doctor first.